Now, there is an activity here. Let us classify the organisms which we have seen earlier or place them according to the place where they live. Here, the table shows the organism on the ground, the organism in the ground, organisms in or on water, and organisms living in some other places. Now, for example, the organism which we have seen, let's take snake. Snake is an organism which lives in the ground, also on the ground, in and on the water, as well as in other places. Then, if we take earthworm, they only live inside the ground, whereas a cat lives on the ground. It cannot live in or on water. And lotus, which lives only on the surface of water. A sparrow can live in a home. So, this is the way to place or classify animals according to their place. Now, in this picture, the places where these organisms live are known as habitat. Habitat is that place where an organism lives for its survival. Now, here in the picture, we have different types of habitat like mountain, hilly area with snow, deciduous forest, temperate forest, etc., where there is enough availability of water and different places where no water is available. So these are different types of habitat present on Earth. The conditions in these habitats are completely different. What are the conditions present in each and every habitat? The basic conditions required for habitat are air, water, food, shelter. These are the basic conditions required for every habitat for the survival of an organism. All living organisms depend on their habitat for all the necessary conditions of life. So, what are those necessary conditions? They depend on air for respiration, on water for their metabolic activities, on food for their survival, and on shelter for presence. Do you think these habitats fulfill all the needs of an organism for their survival? Yes. These living organisms live in places where all the needs are fulfilled. All these living organisms do not always live in the same place, but they choose their habitat based on their necessity. There are hundreds of living organisms on this earth, so we cannot assume or decide habitat for each and every living organism, or we cannot study the characteristics of each and every living organism in the habitat. So let us study about a habitat where all the different organisms live at the same place. Now, if you see here, there is a crow sitting on a tree that has built its nest. So here, the tree is a habitat, and in the picture, there's a buffalo, and there are some birds flying over the buffalo. Do you know what these are doing on the buffalo? The birds are eating the insects which are in the hair of the buffalo. Then here, the habitat for insects is the hair of the buffalo. Now, what is our habitat? We live in a house where all our necessary conditions for living get fulfilled. So, this is our habitat.